Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was absolutely beautiful. I just love the harp. It's one of my favorite instruments. The harp is just so magical. It just takes you off to a different place. It's always so relaxing, especially when you're out for a run or something. It's just heavenly. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I mean, the harp dates back to nearly 1,000 years, but I know its origins before that have been lost. So you're so talented for being able to play such a beautiful instrument. Stephanie, if you're ready, can I ask you some
Yeah, of
questions?
course. Thank you.
Okay, hi Stephanie. So how long have you been playing the harp? You're just it's
Not.
amazing
I
what you can
started as an
do.
adult actually.
Oh wow, so how long ago?
Probably about 12 years.
Wow. And how long did it take you to get to such a professional level?
It took me probably a few years. Because I could already play the piano and everything. It made sense. So I could just go from there. But
Yeah. So
I've been playing continuously now for the last 12 years. So
it's just so beautiful. It's just magical. And so how many instruments is it that you play? So you play the piano,
I play the
the
piano,
harp.
harp, cello, and recorder. Uh,
Oh my gosh.
I have to admit, the recorder is my favourite. It's probably not
Oh, is
everybody
it?
else's favourite, but it's my favourite.
So if you had to go on a desert island, is that what you would take with you if you had to choose which instrument you were going to play continuously?
I tell you what, if I went on a desert island, I don't think I'd take any instruments. I think I'd take like a life raft or like a survival kit.
Yeah. Some water.
Yeah, water, a shovel, a saw.
But I mean, it would be pretty fun to play the harp in a desert, right?
Yeah, I think it would get frustrating because the strings would keep breaking, wouldn't they? And I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to phone up Pilgrim Harps and go, "Help! I need some more strings."
How often do you have to change the strings on a harp? Do they break quite easily or?
They break quite often.
Yeah.
They have been known to give Richard a small heart attack while he's been working during the day, and I've been out at work, and they've gone bang.
They just
They just
wow.
go. They just go, and it's because they're made of a natural material. They're made of cow gut, so they're a
Oh,
byproduct of the meat industry. And every so often they go. They're not as bad. Like some of my pupils' harps, they go all the time. But this, on the whole, touch wood, they're not too bad. I was a bit worried though, because one of the big ones down there is looking iffy.
oh dear. Yeah. So do you listen to harp music, in your own time? Do you listen to the music a lot as well? Do you play a lot? Like how many times do you practice in a week?
So I listen to a lot of harp music and a lot of Celtic-y sort of new agey music, as well as a lot of Baroque music, which involves harps as well. So anything with a harp in it, I basically listen to it. Um, and also, yeah, so I'm teaching a lot. So I practice for that, and I'm playing to my pupils. Um, but I'd say on the whole, I do, at the moment, I'm doing between 1 and 2 hours practice a day.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Probably
That
should do
that's a
more.
lot of dedication. Does it hurt your fingers?
Um, they're actually like leather. They're
Oh
really,
wow.
they're really, really tough. So actually, they're fine.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite harpist that you listen to? Who is your favorite
Okay.
musician?
My favorite musician isn't actually a harpist, and it's Geordie
Ah,
Savall, but his daughter Ariana Savall is an amazing harpist. And I just love the way, because they do all sort of early music, and I love the way that she can sing with her harp, and she plays harp like this. She can play all sorts of harps. She's got a triple strung harp and the little gothic medieval harps, and she sings with it. It sounds absolutely gorgeous. So
do you
she's my harp idol.
Do you ever sing with your harp as well, or do you strictly just play?
I've
Because you sing
tried.
as well, right?
I sing, but
Yeah.
I've tried singing with the harp and my brain can't cope. It's better if
Yeah,
someone
it
else
must be.
sings. It's better if you sing and I play the harp.
Yeah, I suppose it must be quite complicated.
Yeah, I just
Um,
can't. I can sing and I can play the piano at the same time, but I can't do it on the harp for some reason.
have you been playing the piano much longer than the harp?
Yeah, I suppose maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I mean, obviously, being able to play the piano, that's difficult. I mean, I'm trying to learn, and it's really hard. So I can't imagine, how complicated it must be. Um, Being a harpist, it's so sophisticated.
Well, the great thing about the harp is, you've got all the black notes on the piano and you've got to remember what your key signature is.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't have to do that on that. Well, you do have to remember a bit if you've got to change levers and pedals, but you can literally, so if a piece is in like F major, you just put the keys, the levers up to go in F major, or the pedals on the pedal harp to F major, and then you just go from there. And you can play, if there's no key change or anything, you can just play that entire piece without worrying about what the notes actually are.
So it's extremely different from the piano.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's more complicated, though. I thought it would be more complicated to learn to play the harp than the piano. Or am I wrong?
I think the piano it's easier to learn your music theory on a piano because it's laid out in front of you. Whereas on the harp, it's a bit like, so for instance, I tune this harp in E flat major, and now you try telling that to a beginner that they've got to tune with 3 flats. And, so the first lesson, you teach them how to tune the harp, and I'm like, just take my word. I used to try and explain it, and now I'm like, take my word for it. And I'll explain it in a couple of weeks when you've got the notes.
Oh, it's amazing that you're doing is it Skype or Zoom lessons at the
Yeah, I'm
moment?
doing Whereby
for
and a bit of FaceTime for those.
So that's the harp, the piano, and a recorder. Are you doing lessons for all of these
I
instruments,
just
or is it?
harp, piano, and cello at the moment. I
Oh,
haven't
right.
tried the
Wow.
recorder over the internet.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I know that you can play the Irish whistle as well.
Yeah,
I know this.
I can't actually play the Irish whistle, but but
I
did
beg to
play it.
differ.
I did play it on your track that we recorded. But I
Oh,
had
I
to
thought
work
it was
out
great.
what the notes actually were on the whistle first. It did sound authentic though.
It sounded like you could play to me, to be honest. I mean, I can't play any instruments, so I'm always so jealous of people that can play so many, not just one, 5 or whatever it is. To me, it's just, I don't know if it's my brain doesn't quite work in that way, and I don't really pick it up that easily. Did you find that it was just something you were very naturally in tuned with to,
I could,
you know,
yeah, I
to play?
did. I mean, like, I found it fairly easy-ish, but at the same time, I remember struggling with some concepts. Like, I remember struggling with scales on the cello because to me they had no logic. And I remember learning them by fingering, which just if you play the cello, if you're learning the cello, never learn the scales with just fingering. You have actually got to know what notes are in those scales. I think, and like my scales on the piano were fine. I could do those. I knew what notes were, but on the cello, I remember really struggling with that. And then once I'd done grade 8 and failed my scales, still passed grade 8, I sat down and I was like, right, I'm going to practice a scale a week and just learn every single note in them. And now I can play them. But I should have done that whilst I was doing my grades.
What was the first instrument that you played? Was it the piano?
I taught myself the recorder from about the age of 5.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And then they had
That's
a little
amazing.
recorder group at my first school. And then when I moved school, because I moved school, and I think it was year 4, And I basically went up to the music teacher and told her that it was a disgrace not having a recorder group in the school and she'd better start one because I could play it. And she did. She actually started one.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. If you don't ask, you don't get.
I was like, why has the school not got music going on?
So do you ever, with the harp, can you, I'm not sure what the music looks like as you read it for the harp, but um can you write your own music, or is that something that's super advanced? I don't know. Have you ever
The
done that?
last piece, the first and the last pieces I played today were pieces that I'd written myself.
Oh wow,
So the
amazing.
first one
Amazing.
was one that I shared on Facebook yesterday, I think, and it's about a lame girl's prayer before a dragon comes, and there's this weird story about a dragon arriving in Christchurch and destroying the whole town, which I'll get into another time because I've got a whole set of pieces to go for it. And the last piece I played was a piece I wrote about blackberry picking. So one,
Oh
like, I
wow.
think it was August, and I was blackberry picking in the Undercliffs in Highcliffe, and I was just, there was no one around. It was like sort of first thing in the morning, and I'm just picking blackberries happily, like, you know, mind my own business, no one around at all. And suddenly, like 4 American tourists and 2 Japanese tourists appeared from absolutely nowhere. I mean, it's not even a tourist destination, Highcliffe. And they started, and they were like, "Oh, blackberries," and just started helping themselves to my my baskets and of like blackberries. And I was like, "What?"
Really? What's going on? So this is what you based
Yeah,
a piece of music on?
yeah. I was like, "That is
That's amazing.
so surreal." And then they just sort of wandered off again, and I'm like, "Where did they come
Okay.
from?"
Well, for me, it's fascinating that you've taken that scenario and sort of created a piece of music from it, because when I listen to the harp, it really does strip back and sort of take me to a place in my head where I'm surrounded by nature, or I'm outside in a field or a forest. So it's nice that you've taken from a moment of nature to inspire you for a piece of music.
Yeah, I think one of the nice things about the harp is that you can take it outside. So when
Yeah,
I do a lot of weddings, which I'm not this year because they've all been moved to next year. A lot
of
of them,
course. Yeah.
they say, is it okay? A lot of couples say, is it okay for the harp to be played outside? And I go, yeah, that's fine. Because actually, it's really portable, and actually it's surprisingly loud outside. So there's some absolutely beautiful gardens that people can have access to. Or a lot of the hotels in Bournemouth in the last few years have put little like beach hutty things at the end of like their gardens. So people can get married outside. So that's quite nice. And you've got all like birds, and you can hear the sea in some of them. So it's really magical.
And how many weddings have you played at overall, or how many
Oh,
concerts have you played at?
a lot. I've no
A
idea
lot.
how many. A lot.
Well, I know that I'm definitely going to have you at my wedding if I ever get
Excellent.
married, because honestly, it's just so magical. It really is. But we do have some comments and I think some questions for you.
Oh, excellent.
Let's see. We have from Macaroon Granola. Hi from Michigan.
Oh, hello. That's such a good name.
Yeah.
That's a good username.
It's counterintuitive, unhealthy macaroon and then really healthy granola. Anyway, so harp music makes me think of dragonflies zipping along the garden sunflowers and reflecting the light in the brilliant majestic. That's a lovely comment.
That's a really nice image.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what I'm saying. It always takes me to a place like that. And I'm sure for many others as well. And we have a David Pickett. Here we go. Question for Stephanie. Was she playing octaves in the Greensleeves melody?
I
Her
was.
thumb and little... Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Well spotted.
It's Lorna Nevin. Where was your harp made, Stephanie?
This harp was made by Pilgrim Harps in Surrey. So they're in Godstone in Surrey, and they've got the most amazing workshop on an old farm.
I wonder how long it takes for a harp to be made.
This one took them about 3 months because I asked them to do some carving on it as well.
Oh, wow.
And my pedal harp, it took 6 months, which I think is amazing, because actually you see photos of them choosing planks of wood on Instagram if you follow them on there, and it's just incredible, because it's just to think that it can go from planks of wood to a fully functional instrument in like 3 months is incredible.
That is incredible. Yeah, it's fascinating. So this harp was specifically made for you.
Yeah, so Pilgrim, so you can buy my Carmack harp, which was made in France. I bought that. I just bought that, it's off the peg. It just is the standard range. They just make them and you buy it. But the Pilgrim harps, you can hire them. So this is what I get a lot of my pupils to do to start with. If you're not sure if you want to play the harp or not, you literally can hire the harp for 3 months. And then if you want one, they will then make you one. So you take the higher deposit off and the higher price, and you carry on using the harp that you've been hiring for 3 months for free. And they make it bespoke for you. So you can get them in green, pink, sparkly. There's a pink sparkly one that was quite... I liked it. I don't think it would always suit different venues and situations, but it was really pretty.
I always love sparkles, so glitter and sparkles and bling is definitely right up my alley.
And you can have carving. So like the whole thing is that you can have it bespoke to you. So some of my pupils have got really lovely paintings of fairies and unicorns.
Oh, wow. Amazing. We have a few more comments here. From Finbar Martin, wonderful playing.
Oh, thank you, Finbar.
And then Gerald Martin, magical. And then we have I think that's a lot of my family.
I was going to say, thank you to your family for watching.
And then we have and I don't know if I'm going to say the second name right, so apologies. Nancy Rohurst or Rohurst. Beautiful love harp music. And we have a Gerald Martin again. What are the strings made of? I think you might have said this earlier.
Yeah, they're made of cow gut.
Yeah.
They're made in, I think it's King's Lynn. If you go to the Bow Brand website, there was an amazing video at one stage of how they make them. It's incredible. They're all made by hand.
Oh, wow.
Which is why they're really expensive, and you cry when too many break in 1 month.
Well, how much are the strings then? Is it like a pack or per string? Or?
Per string. So the lower one's about £10 to £12 per string.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. That is really expensive, actually.
It's quite expensive. And one of my cello strings went as well this week, so it's not a good string week.
We have David Pickett. What's the name of the harpist that you listen to?
Ariana Savao.
There we go. And we have Finbar Martin again. So, you taught yourself the recorder at such a young age. Did you come from a musical family?
No. Actually, neither of my parents play any music whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah, I was just given this recorder and a book for my birthday or Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, this is easy." Just played it, just learnt it.
You just have a natural, a talent with instruments. Then
I did annoy a lot of people because I got a bit addicted to it. So.
Well, that's amazing.
I don't think the neighbours were too pleased, if I remember.
I'm trying to learn the piano at the moment, and it's just so difficult. So it really just always astounds me when somebody
I
can
think
play, you know.
when you're learning an instrument, especially as an adult, I always say this to like my adult pupils. If you like, some of them have learned music as a kid, and sometimes people think, oh, children learn really fast, and some of them do, and some of them really don't. And on the whole, it will take them, especially on the piano, because the piano, you've got that whole coordination thing. It will take you a year or two to get up to grade 1, and then it takes a year. They on average they sort of progress a grade every year. So when you think about it like that, even if you're learning that faster as an adult, you're still doing really, really well.
Would you say that you know all of the sort of everything, like all the notes about like with the harp now, or do you still have stuff that you need to learn, or would you say that you're completely past that level now?
I mean, obviously, I know where all the notes are. I can play lots. There's still lots of music that I can't play
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't learnt it yet. But I'm always learning new music, and I think the more you do, the more you progress, and the more you enjoy it as well.
Yeah. So with the harp, like it's always very sort of, you know, melody. It's like a melody music. Is it versatile? Can you sort of play more, you know, like a pop song on the
Yeah.
harp, for
For
example?
weddings, I mostly only play pop songs because that's what people want.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What does it sound like? I've only ever listened to sort of like the music that you were playing tonight.
So
If
some of it sounds really good. If it's got a melody, it sounds lovely. Some things some things don't work as well. It depends really on if it's got a really good tune. So quite a lot of modern pop songs at the moment have only got like 3 notes in the melody because it's all about the words and the rhythm and everything. And obviously that doesn't really translate very well to the harp.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I mean, I much prefer like listening to like a more, you know, the classical things on the harp. I think that's its signature thing for me personally. It just, in my mind, it just, you know, it takes me back to like an ancient time, and I start imagining in like a, you know, in a
Yeah,
castle.
castles
Y-
and like magical gardens, things
I
like that.
suppose I suppose way back when there would have the majority of the time been a harpist in
Yeah,
um like playing for people, very important people. So um it's like it's a very atmospheric thing, the harp.
yeah.
But
There would have been a harpist in most like castles or they travelled around and they probably would have played with other people as well.
well, I did find out something interesting today about the symbol of the harp. You know that it's a symbol for Guinness. Well, they copyrighted it onto like the certain angle that it sits at on their design, and even the, oh, what was it? I've got it here. So the Irish government actually had to turn the harp the other way round because Guinness copyrighted it, and I find that, I mean, it's hilarious,
I would have
really.
thought it would have been the other way around.
Yeah, no, the Guinness comes first, apparently.
I get so many people come up to me and go, "Oh, your harp looks like just like a Guinness advert. Do you drink Guinness?" I'm like, "No, my mum drinks Guinness. I don't drink Guinness. She's the only one I know."
Do you like Guinness?
No, I'm not a fan. It's pretty good in a
No.
Christmas pudding. It always goes in a Christmas pudding, but not a fan.
Oh, I did make like a Guinness Bailey's cake, and
What? That sounds pretty
that was
good.
pretty good. Yeah, but you couldn't really taste the Guinness because it was a chocolate cake, so you can only taste the chocolate, to be honest.
It must have added something to it.
I think it might have, but I don't know. It was quite overpowered with the flavour of the Baileys as well in the icing.
Sounds like a pretty good cake, actually.
Yeah, it really was. So, well, I think that's it for today. And thank you so much, Stephanie, for playing. It was just heavenly. I've said it so many times, but it really was. But for anyone listening, Stephanie is available for online lessons with the harp, the piano, and was it the recorder?
Yeah, and cello.
And the cello. So if anybody fancies taking up an instrument, it's the perfect time to do so. And please give us a like and a follow on social media platforms. And thank you for listening. Until next time, bye.